it's an interesting take on it. I feel like, and I don't want to put you guys in a box, but I feel like you would both hate it. But I do feel like it is the kind of show that evokes strong reactions. So
Ah,
it is a hard show to watch and feel like neutral about.
welcome to another episode of Talk Talk Punch. Thank you so much to both our audio podcast listeners and our YouTube viewers for joining us. I am Brody, joined by Tudong Dylan
Hey.
and the Professor Lupin of this Hogwarts, Charlie Hickman.
Teacher.
He's the cool one.
It's because I got the werewolf, the facial hair going right now.
No, everybody likes Lupin, Charlie. Everybody likes Lupin.
He was like our number one on when we did top 10 teachers ranking.
I'm a fan. All I can think is
Absolutely.
Lupin the Third though from the anime, but I'm gonna go.
Well, if you haven't already, we'd love it if you subscribe so that way you can come back here every Wednesday to hang out with us and see what we're talking about. Kind of like this week's topic. We're doing a top 3, but we're changing it up. We are doing a top 3 with the 3 of us. Plus, we brought in the AI. Everybody's talking about AI. We thought, hey, we should bring in some AI. So we're doing our top 3 canceled shows we'd like to see brought back. And so I went, I asked AI, I said, hey, AI, what are top 3 shows that should come back? And it gave me some answers. So we're going to include those on our lists within the list. All right. Charlie, you are the TV person on this show. How was this list for you? Was it hard narrowing it down?
You know what? I thought in the beginning that this would be easy because I give myself some really strict parameters that like it had to be realistic that it could be brought back, not just a show that I'd love to see again. Like, because there are some cautionary tales out there. Like, I loved Arrested Development. I was absolutely, not devastated. It's too extreme of a word, but I was really bummed when it got canceled.
Yeah.
And then, like all these years later, it got brought back, but it wasn't quite the same magic. And so now conversely, I just watched the first episode of the Hulu Futurama reboot. Been brought back from the dead a third time, so I'm excited about that. It was an enjoyable episode. So you gotta find the right formula. It's got to be good on the right. But I digress. It was hard. It was hard to narrow it. In case you can't tell by I'm already excited talking about this. There was specific years, like literal like years that shows ran that I had like multiple choices. So it's like, 2017 to 2019, I could pick like 5 shows just from that time period. So I'll have some honorable mentions at the end. Bear with me.
Tudong, how about you? How was it building this list?
This was not easy because I gave myself a set of parameters. Like it can't have like been canceled and then been brought back. And it like I also wanted to see it like conceivably be able to still be done. Not like, bring back I Love Lucy or something. No. Something's got to be you've got to be able they've got to be able to do it, and it's hopefully it's done right, but I'm sure I broke my parameters already, but either way I first come up with them and then
Speaking of I Love Lucy, that was my number 3. Off I go.
So no, it was not easy. It took skill, it took math, it took science, and I'm terrible at math and I don't understand science.
But you got lots of skills.
Lots of
Thank
skills.
you. Thank you. Neither scientific nor mathematical.
I have a very particular set of skills, but not math or science.
Not math or science. What about you,
Yeah,
bro?
I of course I had some trouble. I was like, what shows would I want to see brought back? And I was thinking of it as like, okay, so if it got canceled and then brought back like this year or next year, like I wanted to kind of stay within that parameter. And so I was like, well, it can't be super old then. It has to be within the past couple years, I guess. But then I was like, I could do that one or that one. I think I had like 4 that I just had to narrow down to 3. So it was okay.
Nice.
Brody hates TV so much that he actually every time a show gets canceled, he's like, another one, and he just takes a sip. He's like, get it out of here.
I don't hate TV. I don't.
You're like, it's too many seasons already. Cancel it. Cancel
it. I can't keep up with
season,
this.
Too much.
Too much.
How am I supposed to keep up with season 24? Come on.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's get right into it then. Let's go. There we go. All right. So, the order tonight is going to be me, and then Dylan, and then Charlie, and then we're going to hear what the AI's picks are. Let's see if anybody crossed over with AI tonight. And that's going to be the sign that maybe one of you are actually a robot.
Okay, that's fair.
Very, very
And
conceivable.
I don't know how in any way this is a competition, but I want to beat the AI so desperately. So my list shall be superior.
I know. Well, and everything that I built around this, like the thumbnail, is Talk Talk Punch versus AI. And I'm like, it's not really a competition. It's really just making a list. But
Oh, it's a competition, Brody. It's a competition.
we'll have better answers than the AI. So there we go. Well, to start out, my number 3. This one is the second oldest one on my list. It went for 2 seasons and I loved it. And then it got canceled and they left some stuff open. So I think they could bring it back. I've talked about it before, and that is Gallivant. It ran
We've
on
talked about this.
ABC. It was a musical comedy set in medieval times, and the music was done by Alan Menken. It only had 18 episodes, and
Wow.
they were short episodes. And so then they, at the end, they kind of left some stuff hanging. Like one of the girls went through this dark portal, and they were setting up like, oh, we're gonna go on a quest to save her from herself, and then it never came back. This is playing on Hulu. Charlie, I know I've told you this multiple times. You need to watch this. Charlie, it's only 18 episodes. You
It's
could
too
do this in a night. You could do this in a night. Charlie.
Seems like a lot, bro. Like 18.
No,
18-hour-long episodes.
I don't think they're hour
Like
long.
18 hours.
No, it's not. Charlie could do it in a night, I tell you.
All right. All right.
But Charlie loves Alan Menken. Charlie loves musicals.
do.
And this
I
one is
do.
very funny. It's very funny.
This feels like a lose-lose to me if I watch it, because either A, it's going to be bad and I'm going to hate it, or B, I'm going to love it and it's canceled and it's only 2 seasons and only 18 episodes and it's going to frustrate me. So I like to. This is a little Schrodinger. What's in the box situation here? Just a little-
Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat. No,
I'm leaving the box alone.
But you can enjoy the episodes that we do get, Charlie, and then we can talk about it, because I want to talk to you about this, because I really think you would like this.
All right.
But-
all right. I will
but,
punch it out. We can talk. That'll be
And
good.
they did like tie up. I don't know if they've kind of finished filming some stuff after they got the notice of cancellation. So they kind of had some threads tie up nicely, but then kind of left some stuff loose. And so I think it could easily still come back with the way that they tied up the things that they did. They've got some like love marriage stuff, and then some people that kind of went off and did stuff. And so like it would be so easy to just bring this back. And it only ended in 2016. It was only 7 years ago. All these folks could come back, and I think it would be really good, because this was really an enjoyable show.
Nice.
Charlie needs to watch it.
Okay.
And
All
you
right,
should
I'll
watch it too, Dylan. It's on Hulu. You'd like it too.
No, I can't. It's too. I can't spell it, bro. It's crazy. It's all in like calligraphy right there.
No, you would
Can't be
both
done.
really like
Can't be
this.
done.
That's the
You
king
would
thing.
both really like this.
All right, I'm
All
on
right,
it.
so there's my
I'm
number-
watching
my
it right
number
now.
Oh, wonderful. All right, Tudong.
All right. Now, I did say that something that didn't get brought back already or get renewed. It was canceled too early. But what I didn't say is that I had to have seen it. In fact, there's no actual way to see it, and that's Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. I haven't seen it. Maybe if they brought it back, they'd bring the old seasons back. We can watch it. Was it good? Was it bad? Did it end on a good note? I don't know. If they brought it back, I guarantee they'd bring those old episodes back and make them available to watch. Look at that. Ryan Reynolds and Nathan Fillion. How can you go wrong? You can't. Bring the show back. Let us
Who are
watch the earlier seasons. I have no clue what this is about, except that there are 2 guys and apparently 3, a girl and apparently 2, and a pizza place, which I can't see at all.
Actually, I've never seen an episode, but I have read about this one because it frustrates me. It's not on streaming, and they drop the pizza place after a while. It's just 2 guys and a girl, and it just becomes like really a story about their like relationships.
Huh.
Maybe it's
Crazy.
It suffered from just not having a great title. I don't know.
When I looked it up, it said 2 guys and a girl, and I was like, "Wait, what? This can't be right because where's the pizza place?" And Ryan Reynolds and Nathan Fillion look so young. I'm like, maybe that's not even them.
So
Maybe I.
young.
So I had to find one that looks just like that with the pizza place because I have. It's ran for 2 seasons, like 98 to like 2000, and I have no clue about it. And I'd love to. So bring it back even for a season,
Yeah.
5 episodes, and then the other episodes. Oh, that's my
Yeah,
number
Trailer
3.
Howard is the girl, and she's fantastic. If you watch Monk, then you know her. Natalie Teeger. She's a talented actress.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'd
No,
like
this
to watch
is a good pick.
Thank you.
bring it
Thank you.
back,
Thank you.
and then we'll watch one episode of the old season. We'll be like, oh, this is terrible. Cancel it. Let's get rid of it.
Well, it's
It can't be.
Nathan
It can't be bad.
Fillion.
You could give me Nathan Fillion and Ryan Reynolds in a reality show. We're just kind of hanging out and chatting, and I'd probably watch it. I'm like, all right,
Right?
all right, fine.
Right?
I would
I'm
love that. I would love that.
That actually sounds really fun.
Yeah. All right, Charlie, what's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3, and all of these on my list are pretty close in tiers. I picked this number 3 because all right, so everything on my list is something that could be brought back feasibly and should be brought back because there's storylines that are left unfinished, stories that have yet to be told. So look, COVID, Netflix, you could blame a lot of different things for the cancellation of this particular show, but it's a great show. The show is Glow.
Oh.
And this was a really fun, like really like well-written show, an incredible
Mm-hmm.
cast, wonderfully
That's good.
diverse. Just wrestling, bro. Come on now, you're with me here, right? And we get and it was building up steam.
Mm-hmm.
Season 1 was great, but season 2 was even better. And it kind of leaves you, you know, like Betty Gilpin's character is flying back. She's taking over a television station. Like, what's gonna happen? Like all the magic. And not only are you ready for season 3, but they've already started talking about season 4. Like they're like, not only is season 3 a given, we got one more for you after this. And then it was like, nah, we're done. Now, openly, the cast has talked about, like, yeah, I'd love to get involved in this again. So I know that there's interest. Alison Brie has said in some interviews that she's for it. I can't imagine that that there would be too many people against it. It was too good, too good. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I've never wrestled before, so maybe people don't like getting their heads thrown onto the mats. But I say, get your head thrown on the mat for our entertainment because it was delightful. You guys watch this, right?
Yeah, this was my
Yes.
number 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry. It's still good.
I'm
I'd like to see it
not,
back.
not on top 3. It's no Gallivant.
It's true. It's no Gallivant.
Oh.
Sorry they don't sing enough and ride horses enough for you, Brody. It's only about wrestling, your favorite thing in the entire universe.
It's true. I love wrestling. And yes. Yeah. All right.
And yes, that's
Enough said.
I got no other
Enough
argument.
said.
I got no other argument. I was
You-
considering it, and I was in
You
my number
literally
4.
watched
And I was like,
Glow. You've seen the original Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. That's something that
I
you have
have.
consumed.
yeah, I have.
Anyway,
I love
on we go.
wrestling.
unbelievable.
All right,
All right.
bring on the AI because I bet.
All
I
right,
bet
let's
it's
see.
a terrible number 3.
AI's number 3 is Hannibal. So what AI said is Hannibal mesmerized viewers with its mesmerizing performances, dark atmosphere, and psychological complexity. This sophisticated and visually stunning adaptation of Thomas Harris's iconic characters, particularly the relationship between FBI profiler Will Graham and the infamous Hannibal Lecter, enthralled audiences. Unfortunately, the show was canceled after 3 seasons, leaving fans yearning for more of its gripping storyline and intricate character dynamics. The revival of Hannibal would provide an opportunity to further explore the intricacies of this psychological thriller and satisfy the appetite of its dedicated fan base.
Wow. You were very thorough, saying mesmerizing twice even.
That's the AI. It's
Brian Fuller?
mesmerizing.
Brian Fuller's a genius. I love Brian Fuller. It's an interesting take on it. I feel like, and I don't want to put you guys in a box, but I feel like you would both hate it. But I do feel like it is the kind of show that evokes strong reactions. So it is a hard show to watch and feel like neutral about. You're gonna like
Gotcha.
be sucked in and like really embrace the oddity of it and like there is a lot of chemistry between the leads. But they definitely do a lot of things that you wouldn't expect from like the Hannibal character. And if you're kind of looking for a more grounded procedural type Hannibal based show, You are going to absolutely despise this. It's very surreal in some ways. It's an odd show. Okay, I got to give it to the AI. It's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick. Anything Brian Fuller coming back from the dead is a good.
I love it. I love it.
But the top two are going to suck. I can feel it.
All right. Number 2. My number 2. Yes. My number 2 is a show that also only ran for 2 seasons. And me and my wife loved it. And they had like set up a whole bunch of storylines. They set up all this stuff. And then they just canceled it. And that is Almost Human. From executive producers J.J. Abrams and J.H. Reitman. So,
is that Carl?
So
Urban?
yeah, it's Carl Urban. I don't remember the other guy's name. I remember his character name was Dorian, but I don't remember the actor's name. But yeah, it only had 13 episodes. And so it was set in the future. It was almost kind of like Blade Runner-ish, where all of the cops had a like android partner. And so Carl Urban, who doesn't like the androids, gets put with this partner who's an android. And so it's them having to work together. They set up all these stories because they're inside the city and there's a giant wall on the city. And so there's all these mysteries over what's on the other side of the wall and stuff like that. And none of it ever gets resolved. Which was such a bummer because Amy and I are like, what's over the wall? And so it was such a bummer. But like, I know Carl Urban is doing television. He's doing The Boys right now. Like this could be brought back. This ran 2013, 2014. So it was about 10 years ago. But like you could pick up like where say maybe they broke the duo up and they have to come back together for a story or something, for a case or something like that. And you could pick this back up. This was a really interesting show. And so I really enjoyed it. I was really, really bummed. This was one that like I took really hard when they canceled. I was like, but like there was no reason to cancel that. It was such a cool show. And so I was really bummed to see this. I'd love to see this brought back. So did either of you watch this?
I've never heard of it. I forgot that it existed until this moment, but I have seen it. I watched. Yeah, it was just one season. It was like 13 episodes, one season, and gone. But it was good.
Was it just one season?
Just one season. Poor Carl. Yeah. Yeah. Michael Ealy was the other guy. He's good. Michael Ealy. But yeah, it was a fun show.
It was a neat show. Yes, just one season.
I like sci-fi. So you me, bro. We like the sci-fi. I know Dylan hates sci-fi stuff, but that's
okay. Speaking of which, Tudong, what's your number 2?
My number 2 immediately breaks the rule that I had because it was canceled and it did come back. It ran for 8 seasons, and that is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I would love to just see another heist, see another, Doug Judy is the Pontiac Bandit, and all that kind of stuff. I know that it left and like Fox canceled it and NBC picked it back up, but it would just be great to see what the gang is all at, or the the precinct 9-9 is at, and all that. That would be a lot of fun. Oh, Terry Crews is so cool. So even though it totally breaks rules, I thought like maybe I would pick something like Deadwood or something like that, but it did come back in like a kind of a movie, and I watched that movie and I was shockingly disappointed. So I was like, I don't want it to come back at this point. They have moved on from that cliffhanger last episode, and I'm like, fine, just leave it alone. I don't need to do that. And I went through a lot of different ones that exact same way. And so, yeah, I'm going to keep going with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Let's revisit the gang and see what they're up to. And yeah, immediately breaking rules.
Best time to break them. Yeah, this was a good show. Brody, you've never watched this show. I think you would actually you would enjoy this one.
I was going to say, you want to hear something really embarrassing? Is I thought this show was still going. I didn't realize it had been canceled, let alone canceled twice.
Yep, that's right.
That's one more beer you got to drink, bro, in honor of another show, Biting the Dust. Unbelievable. Celebrate.
Celebrating.
what's yours?
Come now.
All right.
Yeah,
So
Charlie, what's your number 2?
on to my number 2. Someone mentioned earlier that this Brian Fuller guy was a genius. I don't remember who that was, but boy, were they right. I love me some Brian Fuller, and Brian Fuller's 2000s are like, I don't know if it was just that it was the perfect age that I was or what, but man, his shows like Dead Like Me and Wonder Falls were quirky and weird and unlike anything on TV, and I just absolutely loved them. And either of those actually could have made the list because I think you could probably, well, maybe not Wonder. I don't know. Dead Like Me would be fun, but the one that I put on here is a show called Pushing Daisies. This was
Hmm.
2007 to 2009, and it it's hard to describe the show because it's kind of like a fairy tale, kind of like a musical, but also kind of like a mystery noir. And like there's like a lot of like interesting elements that go into like the recipe that I thought just made this show so delightful. And it is quirky and it is weird and it is dark and hopeful and it is kind of like sad and funny and it is like kind of all in one like just soup. There's a delightful narrator and it just really I don't you just kind of have to experience it, and I do feel like maybe this is a show that this was 2007 2008 that there's enough of like a passionate fan base that I think like a revival would be well welcomed. I read an interview with Lee Pace in like 2019, and he still says him and Brian like whenever he and Brian get together, they talk about this show. Let's bring the show back. When it was canceled in 2009, I there was rumors that there was going to be a Broadway musical based on it. I'm like, oh, that'd be great. The show
Wow.
basically had Kristen Chenoweth in it. She's an amazing
Yeah.
singer, fantastically talented as well. Chi McBride. I mean, just a great cast. Um, but it just like you couldn't help but fall in love with like the atmosphere and like the storytelling was just really interesting and unique. I guess I'm if you've never seen an episode, basically he discovers he has this power where he can touch the dead and bring them back to life. But if he touches them a second time, then they're dead forever. So he can kind of solve some mysteries that way. He touches dead fruit and brings them back to life and creates the most delicious pies. But the woman that he's kissing through the cellophane here is someone that he brought back to life, but can never touch again or she'll die. And it's kind of like a love story being told between two people who can never physically touch. And so it's kind of a little bit like heartbreaking and sweet and charming and all of these different kind of components and elements in one place. But if that sounds a little bit odd and quirky, it's because it is. And Brian Fuller's kind of like really a genius at that. So he does Star Trek stuff too. He's great. But if you've never seen the show, it is on HBO Max. If you have Max access, check it out because it is worth your time, even though with the 2 seasons. But there's more stories to be told of our pie maker and his love.
They could bring it back as a X-Men Rogue show.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I like it.
It's the same thing, right? She can't touch people. All right.
I like it.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's okay.
You can't bring the Lee Pace is a bad guy in the MCU. You can't bring MCU into that. He's like so nice in this. He's like the most charming, nice guy. You can't bring him that. All right, AI.
That's the sound of that joke flopping.
I like that joke. It's the sound of me thinking way too hard about it and taking it very like at literal face value instead of like as a joke. How would that work?
All right. So the AI's number 2 pick is a show that I have never seen. I'm curious if you guys watched it though. And that is Sense8 that was on Netflix. So the AI said Sense8 was a groundbreaking and visually stunning series that pushed the boundaries of storytelling. It followed the lives of 8 individuals connected through a psychic link, exploring themes of identity, love, and interconnectedness. The cancellation of Sense8 after 2 seasons left fans craving closure and further exploration of the show's intricate narrative. The passionate fan base to Sense8 continues to advocate for its revival as it possesses the potential to deliver more thought-provoking storytelling and celebrate diversity in both characters and perspectives.
Wow. Now, is that the entire series that they just described?
It is.
'Cause that was.
I have no idea.
I still have no. I still don't understand what it was about.
It was about 8 people. This was a Wachowskis. It was a Wachowskis show, I believe, right?
Yeah, this is one that I didn't get into because by the time I had really kind of started to understand that it existed, it had been canceled. And so I was like, I'm not gonna watch 2 seasons of something that people seem to really enjoy, but that is no longer existing. And so I just kind of avoided it. But people like it, so I don't know. So we're gonna call that a happy. AI picked a show that none of us have seen. No credit. No credit.
Yes. Boom.
All right, moving on to the number ones. My number one is the most recent, so it could so easily be brought back. You guys probably know what it is.
Oh,
What are your
yes.
guesses?
Westworld.
Yeah.
You are right. It was Westworld. I really liked Westworld, and man, it just got lost in this Warner Brothers Discovery meltdown that kind of happened when they said, "Okay, we're just going to take all these shows." So this ran for 4 seasons. They had planned the final season to be the 5th season. And I'm like, you couldn't give them one more season to wrap this stuff up.
Yeah.
Instead, we're left with what happened with Dolores, what happened with the Sublime. Like, we just needed one more season. That's it. For them to give their complete kind of final closure to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so this seems like this would be an easy one for some other network, especially now that Westworld they're not even showing it on Max anymore. You have to go to the Roku channel. For some other network to be able to pick this up and be like, listen, we're going to pick up this show. People can come to Peacock or Paramount or Netflix, whatever. And we'll have all of the previous seasons. Plus we'll have the final 5th season that everybody who really liked the show wants to get, because we've been watching for 4 seasons. We've been watching all this progression with these robots coming, and now they've moved into the world, and there's this whole Sublime afterlife, and what is going to happen? And man, I was like, when I saw that this got canceled, I was just like, what the heck, man? They just the plan was for 5 seasons all along. They've been saying 5 seasons, and you cancel them after 4. It was just kind of messed up. So this is one that I actually really still hold on hope that some other network can pick this up and say, you know what, we're going to give you your last season, and we'll just pick up the rights for streaming for all the other ones, so you can go back and watch it, since Max doesn't want to do it. So, but yeah, this was such a bummer. I really, really want this to be brought back.
It's a good pick.
Solidarity.
Very
Brody.
good pick.
Did either of you watch this show? You didn't.
No.
Charlie, you didn't. You watched some of it, right?
I saw the first two seasons, and then we didn't have HBO anymore, and then too much time passed, and I didn't get back to it.
And I've never had HBO Max.
It was a good one.
I heard
Is it okay that I'm probably still going to say HBO? Is that okay? Does that make me a square?
Please say HBO.
Max.
Uh-huh.
Max is the place for
I never met Max.
HBO.
That's going to make a whole big difference. Terrible.
All right, what's your
All right, Tudong, what's your number one?
I was thinking about my number one being Community, but you know what? They're coming back out there with a movie, and I'm hoping it's going to be really good. So I couldn't have chosen that one. However, the one I did choose did have a movie, and I don't appreciate it very much. And that TV show is, of course, the classic Firefly. I don't care how much time has passed. If Malcolm Reynolds has no hair and he has to use a cane or a walker, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, the movie did not happen. Charlie has discussed this before, and I completely agree. People died in it. Characters died, and it did not happen. What
Didn't
movie?
happen.
What Serenity? No. Bring back Firefly. Nathan Fillion, he's still in his prime. He can still do it. Everybody in the cast, they can still do it. They can all come back for another season, for another 3-4 seasons, anything, even a movie kind of a revival. I'll take it, as long as we forget Serenity. and just focus on the classic Firefly. I understand I'm a brown coat, and I also understand that I'm probably 10 years past when people were saying that bring back Firefly. I don't care. As long as Nathan Fillion lives, I will still be like Firefly. If he, I can't even say the words. If anything happens to Nathan Fillion, then I'd be like, now we can't ever do Firefly. Now it's dead and gone, and there's no chance. But Nathan Fillion's still here. He's still in his prime. He'll always be in his prime, and he can still come back as Malcolm Reynolds, and I'd still watch it. I'd probably get HBO Max if they had it on HBO Max, even.
All right. Hey, I know a lot of executives listen to, if you want Dylan's subscription dollars, bring back Firefly.
Well, this is owned by Disney now. And so
Yes.
I
That's
feel
right.
like I've been hearing more rumors as of late of a potential comeback. Whether it actually
Really?
happens or not.
I have not heard anything about that, but I'd love to hear about it.
No, I feel like something just popped up on my newsfeed here somewhat recently about it.
Yeah, it's
gotta
going to be
send me that story.
all
I have no
20,
idea.
24 and under recasting. So Mal's going to be played by a 22, 21-year-old kid. No, is that what you want?
No, not reboot. Original cast. They don't need to be 25. They can be 50, 60, 70. I don't care.
70.
I would still watch it. They did it with Picard. They did with Star Trek Picard. Everybody was shockingly older, even Data. They could bring back the original cast of Firefly. Come on, don't reboot it. I'm talking about continuing it. I almost picked Frasier, but they're coming out with another Frasier. So I mean, I couldn't have done that either. I thought to myself, maybe Cheers, but Ted Danson keeps talking about how much he hates he hated playing Sam Malone, and it was so sad. So I'm like, the only thing I could pick is Firefly. Come on and give us more Firefly. How long have we waited? They're still there. All of the actors are still around.
Yeah, I support it. You had me at Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Two Alan Tudyk shows and one. I mean, you guys are right here.
What was the other one?
Gallivant.
Alan Tudyk was in that? Bro,
Alan Tudyk was in that?
You completely buried the lead on that one.
Isn't that what you said, Brody? Is he not in that? Did I just make up that you said that? I feel like you said. I'm gonna have to rewatch this later. I feel like you said that.
I didn't say that.
Who did you say then? All right, doesn't matter. I'll rewatch later.
Oh, bro.
I didn't say it. It wasn't. It's Charlie making things up.
No,
I
you
was about
definitely
to go
said
and watch it. I was totally going to go and watch
You definitely
it. But
said
now...
it. Come on.
Oh,
I never said that. I never said it.
Who did you?
Lies,
Okay,
lies,
you definitely said.
lies.
He said it for sure. All right. Well, all right.
I did.
Let us know in the comments. All right. So
All
my
right,
number
Charlie.
one. Hey, keeping a string of Nathan Fillion television shows that need to be brought back to life alive. My number one. Nathan Fillion is in it, in a manner of speaking. This is a show. Yeah, in a manner of speaking. This is a show that probably most people watching this, including the two of you, will have never seen, possibly never heard of. But it is an absolute gem of a television show. This was part of that Netflix bloodbath that occurred in 2019. Mindhunter, which almost made my list, was another 2017 to 2019 Netflix show. Just a lot of shows that didn't survive that year. But this was Santa Clarita Diet is the show.
Oh!
It is a tremendously funny and gory zombie, like somehow gory and disgusting and hilarious and romantic and sweet and just like all of these just different I don't know, the chemistry of the characters is fantastic. If you're a fan of Mr. Timothy Oliphant, he is just I don't get to see him do comedy very much. His deliveries were, I mean, he's just very funny. Drew Barrymore's awesome. The Skylar Gisondo, who's in the little GIF that's playing in the background there, he's hilarious. He was, if you watch Psych, he was like the third young Sean or something like that. But he's very funny. He's a very good actor, and so just the whole cast was fantastic. And it was like this kind of brutal zombie show, but like mixed in with like this really like loving married couple where she, that she accidentally becomes a zombie, and Nathan Fillion is in it as a head. I mean, it's just it's a very good show. And it's another weird one. It just there was just nothing like it on television at all. And so just when shows come out that are truly like unique and fun, like that's the kind of the stories I want to keep having people tell. Like, tell me more of these stories. There's nothing else that's come along since then that's like this. And it left it on the cliffhangers. We're trying to find out like what's the cause of the zombieism and all this stuff, and they're like on the case and they're on the hunt, and like it's a big cliffhanger, and then they're like, and we're done. So see ya. And so it's like a bummer because it kind of ruins some of the rewatch too. It's still a great show, still a good rewatch if you guys have Netflix, but man, it's like it just kind of leaves that bitter taste in your mouth when you get to that last episode, and it's like that's it, okay. Just kind of like if you're reading a great book and you just kind of stop 3/4 of the way through, and it's like, well, that's all you're gonna get. I hope you enjoyed the 3/4 of the book that you just got told, but we're taking the book away from you now. So
Yeah.
tell me the whole story. If you've never seen it, watch it. It's really good. Santa Clarita Diet. Very good.
Nice.
I've never seen it.
Neither have I. I've heard of it.
If you guys have Netflix, watch it. You'll thank me later. You'll watch
Don't
one
have
episode, you'll be like,
Netflix.
oh, that's interesting, and then keep watching.
I don't have it.
They love it when you borrow passwords. Just borrow passwords. They're
Oh, yes.
they're not cracking down on that. Don't worry about it.
Touche.
All
Post
right.
your password.
Post your Netflix account information in the comments below.
All right. So moving on to the AI's number one. And
See if
folks,
it has any taste. Any taste.
big news here on Talk Punch.
Is it
We've
Firefly?
got a robot in our midst because Firefly was the
Hey.
number one pick of AI.
Yeah.
That means Tudong is indeed a robot. But
That means I am not wrong because mathematically speaking, I lied about the math apparently and science. I am all over math and science. You know why? Because 2 + 2 = Nathan Fillion, and that's all I have to say. That's dropping the mic right there. Mic drop.
so AI had to say this. They said Firefly holds a special place in the hearts of fans who were captivated by its unique blend of science fiction, Western elements, and compelling characters. Despite its
Nathan Fillion.
cancellation, and Nathan Fillion. Despite its cancellation after just one season, the show developed a dedicated following that continues to clamor for its return. With its rich world building, witty writing, and talented ensemble cast, Firefly starring Nathan Fillion, Firefly deserves a second chance to explore its untapped potential and deliver more of the captivating stories that made it a cult classic.
You see, that's how you understand when you're a wild card, it has to be exceedingly planned out. There's an algorithm to wild cardness. Everybody knows that.
Oh man. All right. Well, good list. I don't know. It was fun having the AI in here. It's interesting when I pulled this up to be like, oh, that's actually
It developed some taste. It developed some taste on their number one. Before that, preposterous. But this number one.
Crowdsourcing the will of the people there. But yeah, good lists. A lot of shows could have been on these lists.
It's true. It's very true.
But Robotech really should have been number one for all of us. Left hanging after the third generation. I know you guys have been. This whole Firefly thing, like will they, won't they reboot it, reminds me very much of the Robotech movie that's been being made for the last since 1985. There's been a Robotech movie in the works.
Yeah.
Anytime now, this live action Robotech movie is going to come out. You guys can search for fan art. I'm talking about Robotech because it's an honorable mention for me. Canceled too soon. Mindhunter canceled too soon. Veronica Mars canceled too soon. Brought back. Kill off a main character. End the show. What's going on with that? Let's get some more seasons going. Too many honorable mentions to mention, so I'll stop here.
I would have said X-Men the animated series, but it is.
Oh.
There you go. What about Agent Carter, Brody? You love Agent Carter. You want that?
Yeah.
I do. I can't remember how it ended. So I can't remember if it was a satisfying end or not.
Yeah.
Daredevil's going to come back, though.
Yeah, I know, but they're saying it's not going to be the same kind of thing, and it ended on a kind of a cliffhanger with I think it was Bullseye taking over the dead. What? It wasn't Bullseye?
No. There was a leak. I don't know if you saw the leak of the. They started filming. There was a leak, and so the new episodes of Daredevil start, and he's like talking to Foggy, and Foggy's like, "Hey, whatever happened with all that stuff that was going on at the end of that last season that we did?" And Daredevil's like, "Don't worry, I took care of it."
That makes.
And then it goes,
there you go. That makes sense. That's all we really needed.
Me and Iron Fist, remember that guy? Yeah, we took care of it.
Oh, jeez.
He's gone now, though. Don't worry.
He's left.
We'll never speak of him again.
And on the note of Iron Fist, Charlie, how about you take us home?
All right. Well, glad the AI didn't put Iron Fist on the list of shows that should be brought back. We'll look forward to seeing you all next time, and let us know. Look, this is a sensitive, personal subject, so give us your your TV shows that you were kind of a little bummed that got canceled that you'd like to see revived in some capacity, no matter how many years it's been. So be like Dylan, bring back the dead. Let's get an I Love Lucy restart going. Why not?
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to rebooting this next week. See you then.